Welcome, everybody. I am so excited to be here right now. We are podcasting live from the brand new video podcast studio here at One Financial Plaza. I've got Evan Plotkin, John Simpson, Susan Riano, and Madden, Sterrett. Also, artists have been working on the big Springfield Mural, and that's why we're here today, to let everyone know what's been going on over on Bridge Street, John.
Oh yeah, we're just finished this new large mural based on our feelings about Springfield.
Yeah, I am so excited. I've been over there a bunch of times taking video, photographs. It's just such an amazing mural, and I know the entire community is excited about it, and I think this would be a great way to let everybody know what it is and how they can be a part of it. Before we get there, though, let's back up a little bit. This all kind of started off, I think, with you, Evan, and meeting John.
Yeah, correct. I had purchased this building in 2007, and one of the first things that I noticed was that the public space was like a desert. There was tumbleweeds blowing through the plaza. It was really a lifeless sort of building, and there was no energy here. And I knew that was something that I really wanted to work on, and so my instinct was to bring life here by bringing art, music, to restore the fountain out in the plaza. And so I started to work with different artists before I met John, and we were doing these public art projects in the lobby space, and I was starting to make some progress in sort of enlivening the building. And it was around 2008 or 9 when the former president of the Springfield Museum said, "You got to meet this guy, John Simpson. He's a professor at UMass, and his work is outstanding." That was really the genesis of a lot of things that have happened in Springfield with John and myself that proved to be incredibly successful art installations and other things that we've done, including we produced the Devil Edge Theater in Forest Park. It was really about how do we bring not only the life back to this building, but also how do we restore the city back to a cultural mecca that it once was, and how do you get people walking around and feeling good about the city, and how do you change that conversation? And John and I sort of seem to have the same kinds of sensibilities about art and visual arts especially, and so I invited him to do an exhibit. We just said, this is really fun. This is great. It just started the ball rolling to do other things together, and that was about 15 years ago, and here we are.
So you and John started City Mosaic together through meeting each other.
Correct.
And John, what was can you recall maybe one of the first one or two projects? I know I have one in mind myself that you remember working in Springfield with City Mosaic on?
We started with the class, and it was recreating a historic masterpiece at UMass, where we were doing the exhibits in the lobby of Evan's building here.
When John came into the picture for me, I wanted to continue that theme with the Springfield Jazz and Roots Festival. So right behind me here in Court Square, we said, how can we do a live visual art presentation during the Jazz Fest? And so we thought of all kinds of creative ways to do that, and then came up with kind of the obvious, why don't we just paint the building? Why don't we just do a mural? And on these boarded up storefronts, the building suddenly came to life after these murals were put on there. And that didn't stop with the Jazz Festival. John continued to do this when the Jazz Festival ended. And for the next several years, he was out there, even in the winter sometimes, with his boots and his gloves on, painting. You know, it was incredible. And the public was so appreciative of it. The interactive nature of his artwork, and all of their artwork, quite honestly, it's photorealistic, and when it's on street level, people like to photograph themselves in front of the artwork, and it creates a very interesting piece, and it's kind of like a souvenir of being in Springfield.
John, tell us a little bit about the Wizard of Oz, because that really, honestly, I have another podcast that I started about 6 years ago called Art in the Game, and actually the inspiration for the name of that podcast was you.
Wow.
Art in the Game was really it's a casino, nightlife, and entertainment podcast, but it was to let people know that we here in Springfield believe in art, and art is what really drives our game. And really, your artwork was literally the inspiration for the name of that program. So thank you for that. And would you please share, if I know everybody has seen it, it's gone. I'm sad that it's gone. But it was the Wizard of Oz card right on the front on State Street.
And so that was a big expanse there facing MGM, and we really approved and appreciated the fact that they were coming here and they were really investing in the downtown. So that was kind of a greeting card that we did for them. And then it's like I barely remember doing it. It went so fast.
Wow.
That was during the winter, too.
There's no place like Springfield, said it right on the bottom.
Yeah, and so we said, why not replace this negativity with beauty? You know, it's a pretty simple thing. And but at the time, there were people who just didn't understand it. They didn't see this as being an economic development driver. And boy, were they wrong. And now, I mean, everyone's on board with the whole concept of public art and murals. And it seems like it's really enjoying a really good time right now. And I thank John for, like kicking it off and getting people to see how an old dilapidated building that's ready to fall down, if you put murals around it, you don't have the same sense of
Despair.
Despair or it shows that there's life there, there's some beauty there, and it's much more appealing to the people who live and work downtown.
I want to jump to one of the next projects that you both were really instrumental in pulling off was that huge, I guess it's a reconstruction of a mural that was on the side of Worthington Street on the old photograph building. And that was, you had that done pretty much almost ready for last year's Springfield Jazz and Roots Festival. How was that project to work on?
We still had a little scaffolding up when the Jazz Festival happened. At least we were able to stand on it during the festival. That was great. It was so much fun. It was challenging. It was a puzzle with Susan and stuff. She's an architecture major. I got her degree in it and stuff. So she was great.
Susan, you worked on that?
I did, yes.
She was there every day with me on it.
Was that one of your first major, like, big murals that you've ever worked on?
The first big mural that I worked on with John was for MGM, the Indian motorcycle mural.
Oh, I didn't realize that you all did that mural.
You also worked on the Seuss Museum
I
with
did,
me, too.
for the Seuss Museum as well.
So you're one of the artists. So when people look at that Indian motorcycle mural on the side of the building, you were one of the artists, Susan, who helped create that.
Indeed.
Hey, how about that? That's a first here at One Financial Plaza Studios, Evan.
We've done so many things.
You forget about them.
John and Susan, it's hard to remember everything, but that was prior, when we were trying to do a lot of things in the city. It was around the time when MGM was trying to get their casino license here. So they took a particular interest that we can activate the entire downtown better through art and how to make artists more sustainable here and to attract more artists to come to Springfield. So we worked on a lot of different opportunities with MGM, and that led to them hiring City Mosaic to do that Indian motorcycle mural.
Really want to dive into the reason that we're here. I've been teasing it a little bit too far. It's the big, giant, brand new Springfield mural on Bridge Street. It's such an amazing mural. All of you have been working on this for such a long time. What was the inspiration to do something like this? Like, why did you even pick this?
Well, we were kind of, after we finished the last one, the Blooms mural, we won a Historic Preservation Award for it, ironically enough. The mayor and stuff invited us to do another mural. And we were at a couple different sites. We came up and then kind of got put off because the different organizations didn't want it at the time. They wanted to put it off till next year.
Okay.
And stuff. So eventually, we wound up on this bid building because Evan spoke with the people of the bid and stuff. And Paul Picknelli, thinking about the history of Springfield, the 51st of Springfield.
Yes.
And can we do something to include some of those? And so then we thinking of postcards across the country, with the words of the city. So we figured we'd do something like that, where that would be our main basis. But beyond that, it became intuition, where every day we were kind of counting on divinity to give us the answers for everything. And so every day they would come. And then by the end, we just can't stop looking at it. And there's so much information that wound up in it that it's really a lot of fun.
Let's talk about some of that information. Let's bring us down. Let's start at S. What's happening inside of S?
That's a statue of Padmasambhava, which is a Himalayan mystic. He is a statue that I made with a Tibetan master, which is on permanent view in the Springfield Museums and the George Walter Vincent Smith Art Discovery Center.
Okay.
He's filled with semi-precious jewels and incense and a cedar life pole, carved obelisk with Sanskrit prayers on it and dried flowers and stuff. And we had lamas there consecrating it when we finished it. And then we did Buddhist murals running the length of the museum. It's like about 100 and something feet long. And in this gallery that's got Tiffany stained glass windows and giant Buddhist paintings. And so I like just kind of referencing other things we've done in the city so you can kind of compound them and see them in a glance, you know?
Yes. So bring me to P.
And then P. What's the P? Is that the Basketball Hall of Fame, Susan? I can't remember.
The elephant.
Oh, it's the elephant.
The elephant.
Oh, yeah. That's
I'm sorry, John. I probably should have had a picture up of your mural up for the podcast.
Well, I got it here.
Kind of lazy work for my
right.
podcasting work.
The elephant from the Springfield Science Museum, taxidermied elephant named Suicide Sam. That's been
That's
there
his name,
since I was a little
Suicide
kid.
Sam.
Yep, yep.
I remember. Everybody remembers that elephant. You didn't go on your third grade field trip and not see that elephant.
Exactly. And he's very memorable. And I've had people come up in the city going, why is there an elephant in a mural about Springfield?
Keep going down Springfield. Where are we on? R?
What's next? Basketball Hall of Fame. We had to get that in there, you know.
You got it. We're city of
really
basketball. You can't miss that.
We're very proud. The Campanile. The
His
Campanile, yep. We restored it. Put some of the corbels or whatever, the pylons up on the top that aren't
Yeah, those
there
aren't
anymore.
there anymore, right?
No.
But you restored it to its original.
Exactly. With a really low expense for the city, you know.
So we have the Campanile, then now N.
Or
Madden.
the I, or is the R?
I is the Campanile.
The next one's St. Michael's Cathedral,
Okay.
which is right next to the museums. And with each one of those, we're like, okay, here's this letter. What would fit in there? And I would just drive around the city looking for things that would fit into the mural and stuff. But it wound up seeming like it makes sense by the time it's all done.
That's interesting. So even the medium that you're working with kind of spoke to what imagery that you were able to create inside of that.
Exactly. So if you have an eye, you have something thin within. I think that's where the Campanile is because it's tall and thin.
Just such great colors, too, inside of the mural. I love how the 3D letters and the fonts that you created, the nice rainbow effect colors underneath. It just looks it's so pleasing to the eye. And it really is a warm and fuzzy feeling when you look at it. What's next? Are we on G now?
Oh, yeah. Well, also with the colors, I did it all in black and white. Then I let Susan go crazy with the color, and she really did go crazy.
Was that you, Susan? You added all the color?
It worked out great with both of us.
Yeah, we work really good as a team there, too, also with Madden. And so what are we on, the G?
I think we're on G.
Oh, G's the Memorial Bridge with the GB airplane flying over it.
Come on, you got two things. That's a twofer.
Exactly. And I like layering those things. So there's things coming out of the letters, like the elephant's trunk and then the GB airplane. They overlap the edges, so it gives it a sense of three-dimensionality.
And Susan, what's in the F?
So the F is from Forest Park, the Three Graces. It's a statue in there.
Yeah, we like
From
putting that in there.
From
yeah.
the mausoleum?
Yep, right behind the mausoleum.
Everybody knows where that is. If you haven't been to Forest Park from Springfield, everybody takes a walk up to the mausoleum. That's what was in Dr. Seuss's books. He drew that out himself.
Inspired him. It's so
Inspired.
interesting.
It's interesting to see the inspiration inspiring and continuing to inspire, because he was inspired by that, and then you're inspired by his work, and I can't imagine the young people that walk by your work and catch that inspiration. You know, that's something that I wanted to share with all of you about sitting with all of these artists, and I just wanted to take a moment myself and thank all of you. Because, you know, here in Springfield, we do have some challenges, and we live through 4 harsh seasons. It's like 95 degrees out here in September. And your artwork is like water or nutrition to all of us as we grow through these seasons here in Springfield. And you feed us with this uplifting color that's throughout everywhere as we walk around downtown. And it just wasn't so a decade ago. I can feel the difference when I walk around. And as Evan pointed out in the beginning of our conversation, people's opinions of Springfield, because of the artwork, is literally changing. So I want to thank you all for really pouring into our community.
Thank you. We really love that. And, you know, for years I do stuff inside the museums, like the Egyptian things and stuff, all the different Tibetan Buddhist temples, which was great, but it was like a smaller audience compared to when you do something right outside on a street, you know, and you get everybody seeing it. So you really engage completely with community when you do that.
And people have been coming up to you, because I have some video where you were actually painting a gentleman who spends a lot of time in the Stern Square Park. Would he come up to you and say, hey, why don't you paint me a picture?
Exactly.
And you just said, why not? We'll put you in there.
And so now it's a chain reaction that everybody that's up there pretty much says, why don't you put me up there? So the next day I put them up there, and it helps me figure out my subject matter.
Maybe I could send you a picture with me, the microphone.
Oh, yeah, you got it. We'll have you next to a cat or something.
Evan's got to get going. He's a busy guy. Evan, thank you so much for taking time
Chris.
to meet with us today.
Thank
We're
you,
gonna
Lisa.
Keep the conversation going if you don't mind while you in your absence.
All righty. Thank
All
you.
right.
You're in good hands here.
After this small break when Evan Plotkin had to leave and go to meetings, now we're back with the four of us. So we're going to continue on our explanation of the new Springfield Mural over on Bridge Street, created by these three lovely artists here from City Mosaic. I think, Susan, you've been doing really well at keeping me on track here. Where were we? Were we on the F or the I now?
We were on the F. Now
Okay.
we're on I.
Now we're on I. So what is taking place inside of the I in that mural?
So F, I, and E are all from Forest Park.
Okay.
I is the Indian. It's an Indian carving.
Oh, the big Indian sculpture there. I remember when that was being carved. I believe the artist's name was Peter Wolf. He has one in each state, if I'm not mistaken. And it was it was an awesome thing to watch be created. I was amazed as a young person to see how each thing kind of like goes into the next inside of that. Is it a totem?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, I loved it too as a kid. So magical and stuff. And I love that we're going to have like, a QR code and stuff with the mural, and we'll get this name out there of the medicine man that it's a thing. It's a Omiskanoagwiak.
Miskanoagwiak.
Omiskanoagwiak.
That's the name of that.
So I just love the idea of having the medicines man name being said by people in the contemporary world and like bringing things forward.
How many Springfield residents like myself had no idea that it even had a name?
Probably most.
So this is a great way to get this story out there and let people know. I'm excited about that. So does that complete the Forest Park, or is there one more letter in Forest Park?
One more.
Okay, that's E, right?
The Sphinx.
The Sphinx.
Oh yeah, that's the Sphinx at Barney Mausoleum with K. Simpson there.
And then so now we're down to the L and the D. We're almost done. What's in the L?
The L is from the Dr. Seuss Museum. It's the turtle tower.
It's one of the sculptures that we were talking about earlier.
Another self-referential thing of something that we designed and stuff. Now we
So
put it in the mural.
You designed that sculpture?
Yeah.
Oh man, I absolutely there's something about it's extremely fun, whimsical, and it really creates a space of playfulness. And anytime that I'm in that garden with our daughter, I can't help but want to play because of all of the sculptures and the way that they are presented.
Well, thank you, especially the ones that we did. It always makes me totally happy seeing people posing with them.
Yes.
And just like the way people respond to it all.
Can't climb on Lorax anymore, though.
Well, it gets really hot in the summertime.
So, all right, so we're down. It's D, right? Are we finally here?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
What's the last letter, girls?
That's where we started. That was the first one.
Oh, Madden, did you work on D?
I didn't work on any of the letters.
You didn't work?
No. I was really mostly the abstractions and a few portraits, but mostly the abstractions.
Okay. We're going to get, actually, as soon as we're done with D, we're going to go to the abstractions in the black and white. So what is in D? Tell everybody what's happening inside of D.
D was the first letter that we filled, and it is the statue of the Puritan, Samuel Chapin.
Yeah, which used to stand in Stern Square for many years.
Okay.
It got moved, I think it was in the 70s or something. Now it's up near the museums.
It's up in the museums. That's like Father Springfield that they said on The Simpsons, right?
Exactly. Jebediah.
Jebediah Springfield or something. So that's the Puritan.
Yeah, by Augustus St. Gaudin.
And what does that statue mean?
Well, I think it's like it used to be located in Stern Square, and there's a fountain that went with it that's still there, where it's got like the planet Earth with the fish spraying water out of it.
And the turtles, yes.
And the turtles, yeah. And I always thought it was like the Puritan was walking across the park, stepping over the stone bench in the middle, then crossing the water of the fountain to get to the New World.
Yeah, okay, I like that.
And land in Springfield.
Thank you for spending some time and explaining every letter of the Springfield mural, because I know there are a lot of folks who want to come down and look at it. If they watch and listen to the show, they're going to know exactly what they're seeing. And there's a lot more than just the Springfield color mural on that building. I see that there's a ton of abstract black and white, and there's some other murals. I think I could have swore, was Evan Plotkin's face being painted the other day?
Yeah, you did witness that. Yeah.
Well, good for you guys for immortalizing Evan. I'm proud that you did
Yeah,
that.
he had it coming, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if the guys in the park are going to be there, you got to have Evan on there.
Who puts more time into hanging out and doing like creative things in Springfield than Evan?
I don't know.
Springfield.
He is
Yeah,
Mr.
right.
Springfield. Talk to me a little bit about some of the black and white. So I love how it goes up to the fire escape. I mean, it has so much movement, and yet there's a lot more portraits that we haven't even talked about. There's a ton of people on that wall. Who else is on that wall?
You got Kurt Russell in there, who was born in Springfield, as Snake Plissken. You got John Brown's like stuck in the wall. There's like a hole in the bricks. And actually, when it's a windy day or stormy, he actually moves around in there.
Really?
Yeah, the first time I saw it, I thought I was kind of losing my mind. And then
John
Susan
Brown
says,
Army.
"Do you see that?" I'm like, "See what?"
It has movement.
Yeah, he moves back and forth when it's like a stormy night or day,
Wow.
you know. And we have Eleanor Powell 3 times in the mural, jumping through the sky. Another one's a portrait. Another one's her dancing. And Madden's mom, Mackie, what did you call it? What she do to things?
She came in and she bedazzled some of her outfit.
She bedazzles things.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she has a like completely rhinestoned hat on. Her shoes are rhinestoned and her belts are rhinestoned as well. Yeah, so she's a sparkly element. She's like a special element.
Yeah,
I like that.
When you see it in the morning, the sun, it glitters like diamonds. And at night, the car lights reflect in it, too. So it's really so alive.
You were sharing the other day where I had the opportunity to do some filming that as the sun sets and reflects off of the other windows, it actually lights up other parts of the wall, kind of creating a little bit of a light dance.
That's really wild. Another one of those unexpected things where this dappled light creates like spotlights on different characters. And all of a sudden, something's important in the mural. You know, things stand out at different times.
Sure.
Which reminded me kind of like these things that nature does. Like I said, when you plant a garden, you always wind up with volunteer plants that like also have flowers on them and blooms and stuff. But like in Court Square, I painted Judy Garland, and when night fell, the lights came on, and then saw that the lights shone through a tree, so it looked like she was looking into the moon, with like the shadows of the leaves moving on her forehead.
Wow.
And people would line up taking pictures and just
Just to
believe it.
see that almost animation that was created by the street lights and the moon.
Yeah, it looks like she's dreaming or something, or thinking deeply.
Wow. That must be really a satisfying part of your job when you create something and then something else kind of comes out of that creation.
It's the best part, and that's kind of like this Springfield one especially, where the 3 of us all did our stuff. We all gave it our all. We worked in perfect unison, but none of us had any idea of what the cumulative effect would be. So now at the end, we stand the last hour of every day, it seems, just staring silently at it, and like trying to reflect upon what the composition means and how deep it is, because we keep seeing new stuff coming from our own marks.
What does it mean to you, John? And I'm going to ask both of you this question. What does it mean to you to be able to present a piece of work like this to a community?
It makes me feel really satisfied, and I feel like I'm spending my time well in the summer, and the response is so constant and so appreciative, and people spend so long on this one and pointing and learning and stuff. I couldn't ask for anything more from doing a public artwork. You know?
Outstanding. The learning.
Yep.
Madden?
For me, it's kind of the ultimate example of giving without expecting any receival or anything like that. So as you're working on it and you're putting your all into it, it's really nice that people will respond and stuff like that, but at the same time, it's really just about the artwork and getting the artwork out there. And a happy accident that comes from it is like the recognition and the sort of like community building thing, but really what I've found that I've been doing is I'm trying to give to the building that we're working on, and I'm trying to create something beautiful for that building because it's been kind of lost for a while.
Wow.
Yeah.
Susan, the same question for you. What does it mean to you to create something like this for the community?
Playing off of what Madden said, it's a gift to the building. It gives it a new identity. It's also a gift to the community, and I love seeing how much they enjoy it, how they just appreciate it as well. And we also receive gifts ourselves. Those little unexpected surprises that we've found along the way, those are also gifts that we take. And it's been very gratifying, but also I'm very grateful to be able to work on it and to create this.
What was your favorite part about working on this particular mural, Susan?
About working on it. I worked mostly on the letters, and I loved putting in the color and seeing the contrast that it gave to the whole art, the whole piece, with the black and white, the color, seeing it come to life. Yeah, I especially love the skies, putting in the
Sky
sunset
looks great.
and then the clouds. Those are my favorite parts.
You know, we were having a reflection yesterday too, which I thought was pretty interesting. It's like the one we did last year, the balloons one, is like tons of bright color and stuff. It's super colorful, but we had black and white elements in it of different characters, historical figures and stuff. And then this is like the reverse.
Okay.
So this one's all like black and white, then with the color detail and stuff.
Sure.
So it's nice, like they balance each other out, you know?
Yes, I would definitely agree with that, especially as you walk down Worthington Street and you can see the one off of Worthington and then you come over into Bridge. There's definitely some balance and color. And I didn't even think of that until you shared that.
I only thought of it yesterday.
Hey, it worked out well.
Yeah.
Welcome to Fly by the Seat of Your Pants Productions.
Exactly. It'd be a good logo, pants with wings on them or something.
Well, this has just been so wonderful. I'm so grateful to have you all here in the studio to share your story about the mural and really all of the efforts that you've been doing. What's next for City Mosaic, and what can the community hope to see coming forward?
Well, we're already moving into the next mural, which is connected to that one. You're just going around the corner, so that'll be the front of the building.
You're just going right around the building now, right?
We can't stop. Yeah.
Are you going to go all the way? You're going to go all the way to the other parking lot side?
Yeah, we're going to make a few marks today probably just
Oh,
to make
no
sure
kidding.
claim it, you know. Yeah, with the walls continuing around there, as we get more of them, we've been getting a lot of wows, and Kay came up with the idea for us as thinking of ourselves as the walls of wonder. So we want to keep going around creating these so-called wonder walls.
The Walls of Wonder. So that's going to be like that's almost like your nickname, right? Because it's
Exactly.
City Mosaic, but it's really the Walls of Wonder team that's just going around and creating. Wow. That's how it works, right? Hey, that's great. You know, everything that you guys do just seems like you have such a perfect artistic flair to it. We're lucky to have you in our community. Thank you so much.
So if you're just into giving, then people are always happy about it because they're getting something.
I think that's a great place for us to segue out of here. It's really been a gift to be here with you and to listen and to learn about everything that's happening inside of City Mosaic, the beautiful artwork that you're all creating throughout our city, and really enriching all of our lives with color, art, happiness, and joy. I want to thank you all very much. And it's been a really wonderful conversation.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you so much.
All right. On behalf of everybody here at One Financial Plaza and Every Single Thing 413, we like to thank you for sticking around to the end of this episode. And make sure you follow us for the next one.